Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, P3 girls? I hope you all are fine. Girls, we have started the chapter number 8, Life of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. And yesterday we have started the question, briefly describe the actions and qualities of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that make him a model for Muslims to follow. And we discussed about his forgiveness and patience, his piety and righteousness, his justice and kindness. So rest of the question we will discuss today. His behavior with people. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, was a perfect example of politeness, fine manners, and decency. Whoever came to contact with him, he was deeply impressed by his qualities. He behaved with everyone with civility and politeness and taught others to do the same by his personal example. The Prophet, peace be upon him, used to stand up for feelings of love for some people when they came to meet him, just like when his daughter Hazrat Fatima Raziyallahu Ta'ala anha came to meet him, and his foster mother Bibi Halima Raziyallahu Ta'ala anha, he spread a sheet of cloth for her to sit down. It was his habit that whenever he met anyone, he was the first to greet him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was a ruler of a vast empire, yet he lived the life of an ordinary man. He helped the poor, the orphans, and the widows. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was too fair in his dealings and honest in his dealings and just in deciding affairs of friends as well as foes. His manner of speech. The Prophet, peace be upon him, sat with people with grace and good manners. When he said anything, the companions listened to him very attentively and quietly. He never interrupted other people's conversation. If he did not like anything, he ignored it and did not utter any word of disapproval. He shared the conversation of assembly, whatever people talked about. He also talked about it. He shared in their laughter and civilized humor and himself talked about pleasant and humorous things. The Prophet, peace be upon him, used to speak moderately. Hazrat Aisha Raziyallahu Ta'ala anha said, Allah's messenger did not go on talking rapidly as you do, but spaced out his words so that those who sat with him could remember them. The Prophet, peace be upon him, never spoke loudly or in an unseeing manner. He was never harsh and never picked quarrels with anybody. So no one even can hurt anyone bad from him, nor did he ever use bad language. The family life of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the only messenger and the man in the history, a record of whose entire life is fully preserved. Not only the important events of his life, but the record of his daily life from birth to death is written on the pages of history. So, all his sayings, doings, and details of his conduct and characters are kept. Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam experienced difficult situations in his life, in his childhood, in his youth age. Each and everything is very important and is recorded from his life. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was very kind and gentle to his wives. He said, The best amongst you is the one who is the best to his family, and I am the best among you to my family. The Prophet, peace be upon him, loved his family immensely. We discussed the example of Hazrat Fatima and Hazrat Halima Sadiya Raziyallahu Ta'ala anha. Even as the head of the Islamic State governing a vast empire, he would go without food for several days. Hazrat Abu Huraira Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu said that at time 2 months used to pass at a stretch without a fire being lit in the house of the Prophet, peace be upon him. According to Abdullah bin Masud Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu, the Prophet once lay on a mat. When he got up, there were marks of the mat on his body. Ibn Masud asked the Prophet, peace be upon him, why don't you allow us to spread a covering on the mat? The Prophet, peace be upon him, replied, I do not care for the comforts of the world. I am a traveler, and the world like a shady tree. The traveler sits for a while in the shade of the tree and then leaves it behind. The Prophet, peace be upon him, disliked keeping money and wealth in his house. According to Hazrat Aisha Razillah Ta'ala Anha, the Prophet peace be upon him used to rest his head upon a pillow stuffed with dry grass. He has one sheet of cloth which he used to fold during night and offered prayer upon it. He used to unfold it during the day to sit while holding meetings. Hazrat Anas Razillah Ta'ala Anhu served 10 years with the Prophet peace be upon him. And he said, for 10 years I spent with the Prophet peace be upon him, and he never blamed him for anything which was destroyed by him. If any member of the Prophet's family blamed him, the Prophet peace be upon him would ask them to leave him alone. At the time of his death, according to Hazrat Aisha Razillah Ta'ala Anha, he left behind no cash, no goat, no camel. According to Hazrat Umar bin Haris Razillah Ta'ala Anhu, Prophet peace be upon him did not bequeath anything except a few weapons and a mule. This was the humble and simple patron of the family life of the Prophet peace be upon him. In this way, he set an example for mankind to follow.